Welcome back to Doggo Data. Glad to have you back with us for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling a pretty amazing career path. I think a lot of you dog lovers out there have probably dreamt about becoming a veterinarian.
Absolutely a dream for many.
But
it is a seriously rewarding path, but we've got to be real, It takes a lot of dedication. I'm talking hitting the books hard and just really committing to the journey.
totally. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We've got a whole bunch of resources to give you a real picture of what it takes to become a vet, but more importantly, to show you that it's totally possible if you've got the right info and a whole lot of passion.
Yeah, passion is key.
Because, vet schools, they're not exactly just giving out acceptance letters to anyone, right?
They're pretty picky.
So let's talk about the hard facts here. How competitive are we really talking?
So picture this. Only 30 accredited vet schools in the entire U.S. Crazy, right?
Only 30.
Only 30. And they're graduating around 3,000 new vets every year. So if you do the math, that puts the acceptance rate well below 50%.
Whoa, so less than half the people who apply actually get in. So if this is like your big dream, you really can't wait till senior year to start prepping.
No, not even close. It's more like a marathon, Not a sprint. You got to be in it for the long haul. Think like 8 to 10 years post-high school.
8 to 10 years. That's like a whole decade of dedication. I mean, I know for our younger listeners, that might sound like forever.
Yeah.
Can you break down what that actually looks like? Like, what does that decade involve?
Okay, so basically you're looking at 4 years of undergrad. And yeah, science is going to be your best friend. That's like, the bread and butter here. But hold on, it doesn't have to be a straight up science degree. There's wiggle room to explore other stuff you're into too. Then comes the big time. 4 years of hardcore vet school.
And that's not even including any extra time if you want to specialize, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking about becoming like a surgeon or an ophthalmologist.
Exactly. So those extra years can definitely add up. So, if you're still in high school, pay attention in bio and chem. Those are your building blocks.
It's not just about textbook smarts, though, is it? I mean, our sources really hammered home how important it is to actually get some experience with animals, hands-on.
Couldn't agree more. It's about shadowing vets, volunteering at shelters, maybe even working on a farm, getting your hands dirty. And these experiences, they actually do two things for you. They make your application look awesome, and they give you a real taste of what this career is all about.
And it's not just about racking up hours either. It's about like branching out and getting different types of experience, right? Because cuddling puppies at the shelter is a lot different than assisting with the surgery.
Totally different. Vet schools, they want to see that you've seen it all, from the simple checkups to the crazy emergencies. They need to know that you're not just in it for the cute stuff. You're ready for the tough stuff too.
Okay, so you've rocked your science classes. You've got all sorts of animal experience under your belt. Now comes the part where you actually apply to vet school. All our sources agree. GPA, that's a biggie.
Definitely. Aim for a 3.5 or higher. That's kind of the magic number that'll make those admissions. People go, ooh, I want to learn more about this applicant. But it's not all about grades, Standardized tests like the GRE, those are part of the puzzle too.
And speaking of the GRE, one of our sources suggested a kind of wild idea.
Yeah.
Waiving your right to see your scores.
Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy, right?
Right.
But here's why it can actually be a good thing. When you waive that right, it basically tells the admissions committee, hey, I trust you. Like, you trust them to see the best of you, even if your scores aren't perfect. It's about showing confidence, in yourself and your whole application.
It's like saying, hey, I trust you to see the whole picture. All right, let's be honest here. Vet school is not cheap. Tuition, living expenses, textbooks, all that stuff adds up fast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The average debt for a brand new vet is a crazy $135,000.
Whoa. $135,000.
That's a number that can make even the biggest animal lover hesitate.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any resources or programs out there to help with that?
There are some loan forgiveness programs, but the thing is they're really competitive and they usually have very specific rules, like you got to work in a certain area. So yeah, it's important to do your research and really think about the long-term financial side of things before jumping in.
For those of you listening who are already on this vet school journey, we want to hear from you. What are you most worried about when it comes to applying? Share your thoughts and questions down in the comments.
And if you're just starting out, remember, every journey starts with that first step.
So true. Whether that's shadowing a vet, volunteering at a shelter, or even just checking out different vet schools, taking that first step is what gets the ball rolling.
And while you're taking those first steps, let's talk a little bit more about those high school classes. You got to take, math and science. Those are like the foundation for everything else you're going to be learning later on.
right? It's like you can't build a house without a solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both our sources really talked about how important a good GPA is, especially like in those last few semesters of undergrad. It's like vet schools really put those grades under a microscope.
Yeah, they do, and for good reason.
Yeah.
You know, those grades tell them a lot about what you're capable of right now academically, how well you can handle a tough workload.
And speaking of workload, let's be real here. Vet school, it's intense.
Our sources definitely did not hold back on that point. It's not just about memorizing a bunch of stuff from textbooks. It's about learning how to actually do the work.
Yeah.
Clinical skills, critical thinking, problem solving.
And don't forget about resilience. You got to have that. You're going to be dealing with complicated medical cases, emotional situations, long hours. It takes a special kind of person to not just survive, but actually thrive in that environment.
So besides those science classes, what else can people do to get ready for that pressure cooker of vet school? Well, working on your communication and leadership skills. That's a big one. Think about it. Join some clubs. Take on leadership roles. Even volunteer in your community. All those things show that you can work well with others. Communicate clearly. Handle responsibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not just treating animals all by yourself. You're part of a whole team, interacting with colleagues, clients, and of course those furry patients. Good communication is key.
And let's not forget about the business side of things. A lot of vets end up owning their own practices, so understanding basic business principles can really help. Some vet schools actually recommend taking business and communication classes in undergrad.
So we've talked about the academics, the importance of real-world experience, those scary financial realities. But what about the personal qualities? That's what really makes a great vet.
Compassion, empathy, genuine love for animals. Those are the obvious ones.
Right.
But there are other things that are important too, things you might not think about right away.
Like what? Give us the inside scoop.
Okay, so imagine you're a vet. You're often dealing with animals who can't talk to you, can't tell you what's wrong. So you got to be super observant, detail-oriented. You got to be able to pick up on those little signs.
You got to be able to handle those really emotional situations.
Exactly. You're going to see tough cases, sometimes with really sad outcomes. So you need to be able to bounce back. You need ways to deal with stress. You need a good support system to help you get through those rough times.
Okay, so for all the dog lovers out there who are serious about this vet career, what's the one piece of advice that really stands out from all this research? Like the one thing you really want them to take away?
Start early, get a variety of experiences, and don't underestimate how much work it's going to be. But most importantly, never lose that love for animals. That's what got you interested in this in the first place.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, we know not everyone can commit to that 8 to 10-year journey of becoming a vet, but there are other awesome ways to work with animals.
Yeah.
In our next episode, we're going to compare the roles of a veterinarian and a veterinary technician.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about other career paths in this field, definitely tune in for that one.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's a whole team of people working behind the scenes to give the best care to animals, It's really helpful to know all your options.
Exactly. And if vet school just isn't in the cards right now, whether it's the time commitment or the money, becoming a vet tech can be an amazing choice. It's all about finding the right path for you, what fits your life and what you're passionate about.
All right, so let's do a quick recap of what we've learned today. We talked about how tough the academics are, the financial stuff. You got to figure out how crucial it is to get all those different hands-on experiences and those personal qualities you need to really be a great vet.
And I think we can all agree on one thing. It's a journey, for sure. But it's a journey worth taking. If you've got the passion, the dedication, and that never-ending love for animals. And remember, it all starts with that very first step.
So true. Whether it's shadowing a vet, volunteering at a shelter, or even just doing some research on different vet schools, that first step is what gets everything going.
And hey, who knows? Maybe one of you listening right now will be the next big shot vet, pushing the limits of animal care and making a huge difference in the lives of animals and their owners.
That's an awesome thought. The potential is huge to help so many lives.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of veterinary medicine, I want to leave you with one last thing to think about. Imagine yourself years from now. You're a vet, you've helped tons of animals, you've made a difference, and you're thinking back on how you got here. What advice would you give to your younger self? The one who's just starting to dream about this amazing career? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what you'd say. And if you found this episode helpful, give it a like and subscribe to Doggo Data for more deep dives into the world of our furry friends. Until next time, happy tail wag.